मैं अब मुख्य चुनाव आयुक्त श्री सुशील चंद्रा जी से अनुरोध करूंगी, कृपया आप सबको संबोधित करें।
ऑनरेबल श्री राजीव कुमार जी, इलेक्शन कमिश्नर, श्री अनूप चंद पांडे जी, इलेक्शन कमिश्नर, senior colleagues from ECI and all media friends. First of all, I welcome you all to this press conference. As you are aware that the term of legislative assemblies of Goa, Manipur, Punjab, Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh are due to expire in this year on March 15th, March 19th, March 23rd, and again March 23rd and May 14th respectively. A total of 690 assembly constituencies will go poll this time. These includes 40 assembly constituencies in Goa, 60 assembly constituencies in Manipur, 117 ACs in Punjab, 17 ACs in Uttarakhand, and 403 ACs in Uttar Pradesh. The Constitution of India places upon ECI the solemn responsibility to conduct timely elections. It is the right of citizens to exercise their sovereign will and elect their representatives. For the past 2 years, the impact of COVID-19 has made conduct of elections extremely challenging. All those present here today and those listening to us have been part of this journey, full of trials and tribulations. It is our duty to see how to conduct elections in a manner that protects both the voters and the vote. As the country faces a surge of COVID cases and emergence of a new variant, Commission would like to explain in some detail the new protocols that have been put in place for conducting forthcoming elections in a free, fair, participative, accessible and safe manner. But before that, we would like to tell you something about the basic preparations which we have done. We work with 3 broad objectives this time, and foremost is the COVID-safe election. Second is hassle-free, comfortable voting experience to the voters. And third, the maximum voter participation. Friends, for the last 6 months, the entire election machinery was gearing up for these elections. Periodic reviews were done and senior officers of ECI held detailed meetings to review all aspects of poll preparations. A lot of advanced planning and meticulous preparation has been done. In the month of December 2021, Commission visited the poll-bound states to review poll preparedness, and we also had a virtual meeting with the political parties of Manipur and their officers. We discussed with various political parties and elicited their views and suggestions. We also met the chief secretaries, DGPs, DOs, SPs, and various enforcement agencies in the states on various issues of preparedness. As the COVID cases showed a resurgence, especially in view of the new variant of concern, that is Omicron, Commission held meetings with Health Secretary, Government of India, and health experts as well, health secretaries of the states. We also had discussions with the Union Home Secretary on this issue. After taking all these views and the opinions and the ground situation, we decided to announce elections to the 5 states with safety norms in place. At the heart of election process lies the sanctity and absolute veracity of the electoral roll. Subsequent to the recently conducted special summary revision exercise, the final electoral roll has been published on 5th January 2022 with 1st January 2022 as a qualifying date and is available to all political parties. Commission laid emphasis on registration of new age voters, women, and persons with disabilities. A total number of 18.34 crore electors, including service voters, will take part in this election, out of which 8.55 crore are women electors. As a result of the hard work done by our officers in the field, we have some very encouraging figures to share with you. And there was a lot of emphasis on increasing the gender ratio, that is, the women's participation in electoral process. And I'm happy to say that it has been increased in all the 5 states. And as compared to the last assembly elections, and with Uttar Pradesh witnessing the maximum increase of 29 points, followed by Goa 24 points, Manipur 19 points, Uttarakhand 18 points, and Punjab 10 points. With this result, the gender ratio of various states is as under: Goa 1056, Manipur 1065, Punjab 902, Uttarakhand 928, and UP is 868. As many as 24.9 lakh first-time electors, that is between the age of 18 and 19, have got registered in the 5 states. And out of these, first-time women electors are 11.4 lakhs. In the 5 foregoing states, a total of 13.01 lakh PWD voters and 31.47 lakh senior citizens 80 plus age have been mapped. Their participation has been increasing and their presence at the polling stations serves to inspire the younger generation. Service electors, the personnel and security forces deployed in India's far-flung borders, and mission staff, 5.29 lakh service voters will vote in coming elections. After the electors, I would like to tell you about the polling stations. Another area of focus for the Commission has been the facilities available at the polling stations. We had instructed all COs and all DOs to visit all major polling stations to see and to ensure that all assured minimum facilities are available on all the polling stations. And like AMF, like drinking water, waiting area, electricity, ramps, toilets has been made available at all polling stations. All polling stations shall be necessarily located at ground floor for the accessibility point of view. They will be equipped with all COVID mitigation facilities like sanitizers, thermal scanners, masks, gloves, so that they are absolutely safe to our voters. And in view of the pandemic situation, the maximum number of electors at a polling station has been reduced from 1,500 to 1,250. With this particular reduction in the number of voters at a station, we have to increase our polling stations to 30,330 more. And now the total number of polling stations is 2,15,368. So the number of polling stations have been increased by 16% than the earlier assembly elections of 2017. Another significant indicator of the pressure on polling booths is the average number of voters per polling booth. By reduction of these numbers, our numbers of range from 672 in Goa, 688 in Manipur, 699 in Uttarakhand, 862 in Punjab, and 862 in UP. So these are comparable to the best in the world. On an average, these are the numbers for per person for polling stations. So all stations are less than 1,000, and you see 688, 699, which is very comfortable, and we can give a very good polling stations experience to the voters. As a part of our firm commitment towards greater constructive participation of women in the electoral process, Commission has mandated that at least one polling station managed exclusively by women shall be set up in every assembly constituency. Our officers have identified even much more than that. There are 690 assembly constituency, but we are setting up a total of 1,620 such polling stations that will be totally manned by women staff and the women security personnel as well. This will definitely empower the women, will set an example for others. The women can come freely to cast their votes without any hesitation and without any problem. Similarly, some polling stations will be exclusively managed by persons with disabilities. That will also give a sense of confidence to the persons and an inspiration to others. We have made special arrangements for PWDs Commission is truly committed to ensuring a comfortable polling environment to persons with disabilities. They shall be given priority for entering polling booths, provision made for designated parking spaces close to the entrance of polling stations. Volunteers shall be available to facilitate PWDs. Wheelchairs will be arranged. All polling stations will be having a gentle ramp so that there should be no problem to our persons with the disabilities. We have made arrangement for the postal ballot facility for absentee voters, and three types of absentee voters have been identified. That is the senior citizens with the age above 80 plus, the PWDs with the benchmark disability, and those who are COVID affected. A polling team consisting of 2 polling officials along with a videographer and security will then go to electors' house along with the voting compartment and get the electors to vote on the postal ballot. That is just like ECI at the doorstep of the voter. Candidates will be provided a list of such electors along with route chart and a schedule so that they may send their representative accordingly. Therefore, there is absolutely transparency as far as this absentee voter is concerned. We have also given a facility of online nomination to the candidates. This is an optional facility, and we would like the candidates should use this facility so that the physical contact can be reduced and online facility can be fully utilized by the candidates who are coming for contesting the poll. Friends, another important issue is the candidates with the criminal cases. Each and every voter has a right to know the background of the candidate. Among other measures to ensure ethical elections, emphasis is also given on mandatory publicity of criminal antecedents. Candidates with criminal antecedents are required to publish information in this regard in newspaper and through television channels on 3 occasions during the campaign period. Besides this, it is also mandatory for political parties to upload on their website at the home page detailed information regarding individuals with pending criminal cases who have been selected as candidates. Along with the reasons, the political party will have to give the reasons as to why this particular candidate has been selected and no candidate without any criminal antecedent was selected, and benevolity is not the criteria for the same. And the details will be published within 48 hours of the selection of the candidate and not prior to 2 weeks before the first date of filing of nomination as was done earlier. The details of such candidates will also be available on Know Your Candidate. That is an app developed by the ECI. Measures for ensuring peaceful and transparent polls. All critical events will be videographed to closely monitor the proceedings on the poll day without violating the secrecy of the voting process. The Commission has directed that arrangements for webcasting shall be done in critical polling stations and all polling stations in vulnerable areas, or at least in 50% of total polling stations, including auxiliary polling stations, whichever is higher. We have seen the preparations of the officers in this regard. The officers have been guided that absolutely on objective criteria, the critical stations and the vulnerable areas should be selected. And I'm happy to say that at least more than 1 lakh polling stations across the 5 poll-bound states, which is roughly 60% of all polling stations, are covered by webcasting. To ensure further transparency, officers of the civil services drawn from IAS, IPS and IRS and other account services shall be deployed as central observers in the coming elections. Nearly 900 observers, general observers, police observers and expenditures observers will keep a watch on every aspect of elections in the field. The special observers will also be deployed if necessary. Another important issue is the expenditure monitoring. As you are all aware that only 2 days before we have increased the limit of candidates for the ensuing elections as far as the expenditure is concerned from 28 lakh to 40 lakh. As per revised limits pertinent to these 5 elections, the limit on candidate expenditure for the state of Punjab, Uttarakhand and UP will now be rupees 40 lakh, and for Goa and Manipur it shall be rupees 28 lakhs. And this also has been increased in view of keeping the digital modes of communication and the campaigns. The Commission has zero tolerance towards abuse of money power and misuse of the government machinery as some of the political parties have mentioned to us. Officials have been instructed to monitor expenditure-sensitive constituencies and ensure comprehensive and coordinated actions. Conducting inducement-free and ethical election is of a prime importance for the Election Commission of India. Commission, wherever had gone, to all the 5 states, held meetings with all enforcement agencies, whether it is from income tax, the DRI, the excise department, the railways, the airport authorities. All enforcement agencies were met. We met all the enforcement agencies. We saw their positions. We directed them that no illegal money, no illegal, this alcohol or any freebies or drugs can be distributed. They will have to, increase their efforts in this regard. We had monitored the seizures which were made by them so far. We have asked them to expedite the seizures. We have asked them to block the flow of liquor into their estates which are poll bound. So a comprehensive plan has been prepared by them also. And again, when we will go, we will have to examine it. We have to see that we are absolutely for inducement-free elections in all the 5 states. Voter EVMs in all the polling stations, the EVM and VVPAT will be utilized, and Commission has already made arrangements to ensure availability of an adequate number of EVMs and VVPAT for the smooth conduct of elections. I'll also mention about the important IT tools which are important for the election purposes. And the first is the Suvidha app, which has been developed for all political parties, and they can fix their campaign areas. They can ask for the grounds through that app. They need not to require to go to any place, to the DO's office, or there is an app on which they can directly apply. And the PWD app is also there for the person with disabilities, and definitely they can ask for the wheelchair, the free transport facility, and other whichever facility they require, so that they can facilitate their movement to the polling stations. An important app is the C-Vigil application. We would like, for any election purpose, it is Jan Bhagidari, the pupil participation, which is important for any good election. Therefore, the C-Vigil app should be used by all persons, general public, the voters, and that particular app can be downloaded, and any incident of violation of MCC, distribution of freebies, distribution of money can be uploaded on that. You just take a picture, click it, send it. And within 100 minutes, the Election Commission of India's officer will definitely reach to that place, because automatically latitude and longitude are available with us on that particular thing. So C-Vigil is a tool which empowers the public to clean the system. And we request and we earnestly request the persons that they should use this C-Vigil app. And it has been used also by some of the states where very good results had come to us. And by this methodology, even the candidates, the political parties and ECI will have a complete control that where is the freebies distribution or the defacement of the property of anything like that, or a violation of MCC, that will come immediately to our notice, and action will be taken accordingly. The model of conduct of court, the MCC, comes into effect immediately from the announcement of schedule. Commission had made elaborate arrangement for ensuring the effective implementation of MCC guidelines, and any violation of these guidelines would be strictly dealt with. I also like to mention about the sweep activities. Friends, sweep initiatives, that is the systematic voters education program which we have, is a very important program through which we reach to the voters, and we want voters to be aware about their rights. Voters should be aware about the polling booth safeties. The voter should know how to how to go to the polling stations, how to cast their vote, how to use EVM. So this is the basic thing, and how to increase the participation of the voters. That is a very big thing before us. So through our sweep activities, we will make outreach programs to our voters to make them aware about the safety standards at the polling booth, so that they can be assured that the polling booths are absolutely safe. We will tell them about the assured minimum facilities which are available on the booth. And similarly, a voter's guide, a small voter guide will also be provided to the voters along with the EPIC card. And the first time voters will also be given a letter giving in a voting and the various features as to how the elections are to be conducted to make them empowered actually. Until and unless you make the voters empowered, until and unless they realize their duties and unless they are absolutely informed, the election process will not be clean. So it is our endeavor through the sweep activities or otherwise that outreach program should be absolutely vibrant and we can reach to the voter. And one more important area for the voter participation, that we have identified all the polling booths where the voters' participation was less in comparison to the earlier years or otherwise also. That the national average or the state average is suppose 80%, and then we have identified the polling stations where it was much less. So the targeted intervention will be made by the sweep activities, by the BLOs, and to find out that why that particular percentage was less. For a strengthening of the democracy, it is essential that all persons should participate. The 60% or less or 50% participation is not sufficient. And the Election Commission of India is trying its level best to make a targeted intervention to motivate the persons that they should come out to the polling in large number of the cases.